What's going on, sci-fi fans? My name is Ben and welcome back to the bench for another episode here on Sci-Fi Wednesdays. We are back on our Delta 7 Jedi Starfighter, and as you can see here, we've got the entire thing with our base coat of white, a little bit of pre-shade. We are ready for the blue color to go down here on the model, which requires a ton of masking, so that's going to be today. I do want to go ahead and also work on the cockpit eventually and that canopy. Got a couple of ideas, but today we're going to focus on the basic colors, get the rest of the scheme nicely painted up, and we'll see where we go from there. Now, to help us with this pattern, we've downloaded and printed up a couple of images here, and we're going to use that to go ahead and cut our masks and make ourselves that nice little sunburst pattern. And I also have this right here, which is a very thin sheet of Tamiya tape. And we can go ahead and use these grid lines and use our printouts right here as templates. So we can go ahead and cut out everything here and make our own masks. Then we can just transfer them over to the model and do a little bit of trimming here and there. We're going to mask off the white sections, and then we come back in, we'll paint the blue sections. So it's going to be a little interesting to see how this works. So let's go ahead and first off, we're going to jump in there. We're going to start doing that masking, see what we can do, mask up the ship, both top and bottom. And well, fingers crossed, this goes over well. All right, let's get this party started. Let's mask us a Jedi Starfighter. Alright everybody, we are back, and now that we have our masking done, we're going to come in with some blue-black. This is a mixture I've made up for the cowling of Mitsubishi Zeros, so we're going to use the exact same color, and we're going to use that here for some basic panel shading. So we're going to do the exact same thing we normally would do. We're going to come in here, do a little bit of marble coating, do a little bit of panel line tracing with this blue-black, then we're going to come in and we're going to paint it with basic Tamiya flat blue. So lots to do here, guys. Let's jump in there, let's do some of that pre-shading, get this thing squared away. Alright guys, I hate to interrupt our pre-shading frenzy here, but unfortunately I've sprung a leak, and that's a very strange thing to say when referring to a model. However, this is a resin model and it looks like some of the internal area of the rear portion was not fully cured. So what I did is I put down some tape, I took my X-Acto knife and I scored around in the panel line like I would for any other aircraft or whatnot, and I cut too deeply into the back of it. Thus all of the uncured resin, it's not a lot though mind you, but a little bit of uncured resin spilled out onto the model, and I just noticed it. Now to fix that, luckily for me, this is a UV resin, so we can go ahead and just hold that panel back into place, hit it with our UV flashlight, and that should take care of the problem, should seal up the leak. Honestly, there's not a lot in there anyway, but we're gonna go ahead and be extra careful with this going forward, and I'm gonna use some of my own clear UV resin just to make sure we seal it up, then we can rescribe, get back onto painting. Sometimes you just kind of roll with the punches, guys, but still, this is a great model. Nothing's ruined, I can fix it all, so not that big of a deal. We'll just move on and continue with our pre-shade on the blue. Let's keep it going, guys. We're getting there. Alright guys, well, we are back, and after that little bit of a crisis, we've fixed that. We've gotten back onto the painting, we finished off the pre-shade for the blue, and we finished off the blue color using Tamiya flat blue. Everything looks decent. It's not perfect now because unfortunately I had some panel line issues with that rear section, but we're done. We're good. I'm happy with it. We're going to move on. So now we're going to come back in. I have to do a little bit of touch-ups here and there for different panels. Some of the masking came up, so I got a little bit of touch-up painting to do, and then we got to come in with some detail painting for the guns and for the landing gear struts and all that stuff. So let's go ahead and jump back into our time lapse, continue pushing on. This should be the last time lapse of the day, and we should have a completely painted Delta 7 Jedi Starfighter. So let's get back in there, guys. Let's push on. Let's finish off today's episode. All right, everybody, we are back, and even though we had a little bit of issue with that resin and the leak that I developed in the back of the cockpit, we have gotten everything painted, and I love the color scheme. Using that Tamiya tape to go ahead and create all the different panels and all that really cool design. Took quite a while to mask though, I will say, but you know what? It is what it is. We got our landing struts in there as well, and I love it. I think it is really striking, and it's gone together beautifully. Yeah, we only have a couple of parts here and there to put on, but still, everything is fitting quite nicely. Jumping into a close-up, you can see all the different panels, and this took forever to go ahead and mask. Yes, I had my Tamiya tape, and yes, I had the printouts, but still, having to cut each one of these little starburst patterns took a lot of time, but I think it looks pretty decent. You'll also notice I did install the R2 unit. The R2 unit just uses some magnets to go ahead and make this removable in case I want to go ahead and pop him off, paint him, and then put him back on. Plus, I can rotate him and have him looking any direction I want, so I thought that was kind of a cool little touch. Just got to make sure I don't lose it though when I start to paint it. And then of course, under the undersurface, I had a little bit of trouble with some of the masking lines, but we fixed that. We painted up the gear struts, and we even painted up the guns. So yeah, we are good. I am happy with how this looks, and I think next episode, we're going to come back in and we're going to attempt to go ahead and paint up the cockpit, and we have to figure out that canopy. That's going to be tough. I'm not sure exactly what to do, but I've got a couple of ideas. So we'll go ahead and jump back in on it next time and see what we can do. So until then, guys, you know the drill. Go out there, get yourself some bench time, have some fun, build something cool, and we'll see you back here on episode 3 of our Delta 7 Jedi Starfighter. Thanks for watching, everybody. Take care of yourselves, and we'll see you soon.